guys, I'm Vance with Carnivore 5.0. Today, I want to break down the differences between the Paleo diet, the ketogenic diet, and the carnivore diet. Now, I've tried all three of these and I've had varying experiences with them and really good results. I've also had some trouble with some of them, and I'll explain all that in just a minute. First, I'm going to touch on the differences. So the Paleo diet is generally an ancestral diet. You want to basically eat what our ancestors ate, and when I say ancestors, I mean thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago in the hunter-gatherer era of humankind. And you're going to eat whatever it is as long as it's natural. So the Paleo diet is really all about taking out processed foods. You want to eat natural things, which is great. And if you're looking for something just to be healthier, I actually think the Paleo diet is a really good choice. If you really love salads and you really like to eat greens and vegetables and fruit and all that kind of stuff, I think Paleo could be a good option for you. And it does work, and it will make you healthier. Like I said, I'll touch on the problems with it that I experienced when I was doing the Paleo diet. But it is a good diet. And if you need more information on it, I really recommend Mark Sisson with Mark's Daily Apple. He does absolutely wonderful research, and he's got a bunch of great articles on there, and you can really learn a lot from him. I know I did. Then we have the keto diet. So, the ketogenic diet is a much stricter version of the Paleo diet in a lot of ways. The key to the ketogenic diet is you want to limit carbohydrates to stay in ketosis so that your body burns fat for energy. When you have carbohydrates in your body's going to burn the carbohydrates and the sugars first. So it is the first fuel that your body chooses, and it's a fast burning fuel. That's why you have highs and lows as you eat a lot of sugar and carbs, and they even say before, like an athletic event, you would carb up. That way you have a lot of energy juicing through your body to get going. The problem is once you use that, you crash. Well, when you're on the ketogenic diet, generally speaking, you're going to be fat adapted. So you're going to be burning fat. And when you burn fat, it's a much slower and steady burn. So while the Paleo diet incorporates natural fruits, vegetables, and other, we'll call it clean carbohydrates, the ketogenic diet tries to really limit that. You really want to go less than the norm would be. And when I say that, I'm talking 50 grams or less of carbohydrates a day. You might even want to go down in the 20s. You really want to limit that. So then we have the carnivore diet. Now the carnivore diet is like the ketogenic diet on the next level. You just eat meat. And all you do is focus on meat and fat. Obviously eggs and butter and dairy can be incorporated into, depending on what you're trying to do. But you do need to be careful of lactose, which is milk sugar. But you can have dairy, you can have all the meat and all the fat you want, but you have zero sugar, zero traditional sugar, and zero carbohydrates. Now, I'll tell you, my personal experience as I went through all three of these diets was good, but I ended up choosing carnivore as a way of life. And I'll tell you, when I started as a cop, it was so easy to eat bad. You're surrounded by terrible food. You have fast food, donuts. Every cop likes donuts. Even if they say that they don't, they do. And you just eat really, really bad. You have horrible sleep and you're regulating your schedule and everything. It's really tough to have a good balanced diet and to stay healthy. Now, I noticed I was healthy. I worked out, I could run, I was on the SWAT team, had fun, living good, looking good, but I didn't feel good on the inside. And that's where I started my fitness journey and my health journey. And I started with the Paleo diet. And it was really good. I cleaned everything up that I was eating. I got rid of all the bad toxic foods that I was taking in. Everything that was processed, gone. And I felt better. I really did. But I noticed that as time went by, I would find more and more ways to cheat on the diet and still stay within the boundaries of the diet. I would eat too much fruit, or I would have too many carbohydrates, clean carbohydrates, but still too much. And it wasn't the worst thing in the world, but I wasn't feeling like I was at my best. Then I kind of converted over to more of a keto style diet, where I really tried to focus more on meats and limiting those carbohydrates. The problem was, with the way I am, as I allowed myself to eat any carbohydrates, it was a slippery slope and I would always end up eating too much. Not to mention you have things like keto potato chips and keto health bars and keto pudding and keto this and keto that, and it's all marketed as keto and it really isn't. And you rationalize with yourself that you can eat it because it says it's keto, and in reality you just want a delicious snack. And I get that, but you end up overindulging, or at least I know I did. So then I converted about 6 years ago to the carnivore diet. And it was eye-opening. I started learning, I dove into the research and really tried to understand why it worked. And I had such a good result from it that it blew my mind. And I decided that it was just going to be a way of life for me. So on the carnivore diet, there were no cheats. You eat meat, and you can eat as much as you want. You can have butter. You can have as much as you want. You can have everything cooked in fat. Everything is delicious. Now, I'm going to tell you, it's very simple, but it's certainly not easy because I get carb cravings. I want sugar. I always want something sweet, but I can't have it. So once you know in your mind that it's just not allowed, there's no slippery slope because it's just off limits. And I found that that was easier for me to stick to. Now, down here in Louisiana, everybody likes to eat. And everybody will push food on you. They try to push the delicious stuff on you, or it could be a special occasion. Hey, it's a birthday. You do so well on your diet, have some cake. And it's very tempting. But on the carnivore diet, when you know it's just not allowed, it's a lot easier, for me anyway, to just say no. And that's what I've been doing. Now, on the carnivore diet, much like the keto, you end up burning up the fat as your fuel. But because you have no carbohydrates and no sugar in your body, the fat comes first and it just keeps burning. So no matter how much you eat, the fat's just going to burn off. The great thing is that because of all the protein and cholesterol that you're taking in, and cholesterol is not bad, all the protein and cholesterol you're taking in, you end up retaining all of your muscle mass. So you don't lose muscle as you lose the fat. Where on the paleo diet, I noticed that I did lose some muscle mass and I also lost fat. But it was a caloric restriction because I was filling in where the proteins were with green leafy vegetables and things like that. Took up a lot of space in my stomach, but it didn't nourish me. When you're on the carnivore diet, everything you eat is giving you something, and it's amazing. So, on the carnivore diet, you can eat as much as you want. You don't have to count calories. You don't have to think about snacks and different things that, can I eat it, can I not? It's real simple. If it's meat, if it's fat, you can eat it. If it's not, stay away from it. It's the best diet that I've ever found, and it works for every single person that has ever tried it. I haven't met one person that has honestly been on the diet and not gotten results. Everybody wins on this diet and you will feel amazing. So I think you should give the carnivore diet a try. And if you want to know how to get started on it, we have a quick start video that you can watch. It'll get you rolling. Then you can do some research and find out more about it. I really appreciate you listening to the video. If you got anything out of it, please like and subscribe. Have a great day.